President Biden will talk by phone with Chinese President Xi Jinping tomorrow. The White House says the pair will address Putin's war with Ukraine, in addition to the ongoing economic competition between the two countries. This comes after the president, in an exchange with Fox's Jackie Heinrich, calls Putin a war criminal for the very first time. But this was after initially saying no. Listen.
Mr. President, after everything we've seen, are you ready to call Putin a war criminal?
No.
Are you ready to meet with us?
Thank you so much for everything that you do.
You guys love Holland and Tree Statement.
Oh, best appointment I made.
Yeah, I agree.
Hi, boss. Mr. President, will you go to Poland?
You asked me whether I was called.
He's a war criminal, sir.
Oh, I think he is a war criminal.
Harris, I said yesterday that the modus operandi of this administration was delay. And I thought about this more overnight, and I thought about a date, August 26, 2021. That was the date when 13 servicemen were killed in Afghanistan. And I remember deafening silence for about 8 hours. We heard from the president just after 5 p.m. And then he had this moment where he looked in the camera and he finally said, "We will hunt you down," in a very direct message to those who killed members. I'm waiting for that kind of moment. This is a different context, but children are being killed. We just went through that. I'm looking for that moment where he doesn't necessarily say, we're sending U.S. troops, but a moment where he says explicitly, these are war crimes, not in passing to Jackie Heinrich after a follow-up, but definitively in a camera looking dead forward at Vladimir Putin.
Okay, just don't hold your breath when you wait.
Okay.
I love you. I want you to still be here.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. Not right now, because he's using Russia to do a deal with Iran.
Yeah. Good point.
I mean, it's so blatant. It's offensive. I wish it were more hidden. I wish it were this thing that we're so clandestine that it might possibly not be true, but it is clearly, transparently the truth. The other thing, too, did he have a reflex and turn around and fix his words? Or what were those people telling him? Because he said, oh, that was exactly the point I was making. Oh, wait a minute, let me turn around. And it was almost like it was an orchestrated dance move. Let me turn around and fix my words. I don't know what's going on in that moment, but clearly he gave two answers. But you won't get two answers the way that you're hoping that he'll be so strong on, we're going to come after, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Because he really wants more than anything, apparently, is the deal with Iran. Now, I always know that intel is that we don't know everything. So I don't know everything he knows. But the fact of the matter is, don't hold your breath.
Don't hold my breath. Exactly. And I think that's the key point Harris makes, Leo, about the deal with Iran. And maybe that explains why this was almost, a second-handed comment about war criminals, not a forthright one in a speech. And then also this cleanup on aisle 5 from Jen Psaki shouldn't have been a cleanup at all.
The president's remarks speak for themselves. He was speaking from his heart and speaking from what he's seen on television, which is barbaric actions by a brutal dictator through his invasion of a foreign country. There is a legal process that continues to be underway at the State Department. That's a process that they would have any updates on.
Leo, I'm tired of hearing about the legal process. I want direct message to Putin, you are a war criminal. Are we going to get that, or is this about Iran?
Kayleigh, honestly, every time I see Jen Psaki, I wish you were right back in that position and give me some facts. Will we see it? Absolutely not. I'll tell you why. It's all spin. And I'm going to be very brutally honest. I love my country. I love the office of the president. But Joe Biden is a weak president. You're not going to get that leadership. China and Russia are exploiting Joe Biden, and they're exploiting America. Why? Because of August of last year, when those 13 U.S. service members were murdered, and there's been no action. We still left Americans in Afghanistan. And so basically this telephone meeting tomorrow, that's a photo op for China. China has a horrible history on human rights. They don't care. Look, the pattern with China and Russia is very simple. Power and control. Power and control at all costs. So great photo op for China to be involved, but they have no loyalty to this country. They're in bed with Russia, and we're not going to get that strong leadership that we had up until January of 2021.
I think that's exactly right. Emily, listen to this soundbite from Jen Psaki where she's pressed by John Decker about the difference between offensive and defensive weapons. It's a little bit confused and muddled.
You put out a list of all of the military equipment included in that $800 million that's being provided to Ukraine. Among those items, let me read them to you, 100 grenade launchers, 5,000 rifles, 1,000 pistols, 400 machine guns, and 400 shotguns. Are you saying those items are not offensive weapons?
They're weapons that help the Ukrainian people fight against an invasion by a foreign country.
They can be used offensively, can they not?
Again, they're weapons. What I'm talking about is weapons that can be used to fight.
The answer is yes. I mean, although you don't want to say it, that answer to that question is yes.
The answer is yes, Emily. Those are offensive weapons, just like MiGs.
Right. That's just another example where this administration is so obsessed with optics that they fail to see the forest for the trees, and they continue to think that gaslighting us will be successful.
Right.
Like, just say it. Just say what is so obvious and blatant to all of us. And guess what? It'll be okay, because that's what the American people want. That's the will of the American people, is to help and support Ukraine in its defense of its own nation's borders and its offense against Putin. I have to point out, too, that the war criminal part, we know that the International Court of Justice, the ICJ, has just come out and demanded essentially that Putin withdraw his forces. Putin, in response, says, "You have no jurisdiction over me. I in no way recognize you." This, as well as concurrently, the ICC, the International Criminal Court, has instigated an investigation into what it sees as war crimes, as referred by 39 sovereign states, not one of us, because we are not a member. My point is that this goes to that lack of enforcement that we knew would happen, right? It dovetails in with, no matter what we call this guy, what matters is what we do, not what we say, not what we call him, because there's no jurisdiction of these international courts, and it doesn't matter what comes out of Biden's mouth. It matters what he does. Congressman Mike Waltz wrote an interesting op-ed where he said, look, if you keep threatening these vague sanctions of severe consequences and this, Putin doesn't care. He's going to keep going up the rung of the ladder until he meets American steel. That's the only thing that will stop him.
And American steel would be providing the MiGs. Bipartisan call for that. Let's do it, President Biden.